This is Cruise Ship Heist, Cruise Ship Crime Investigators. Written and read by Stuart St. Paul. Chapter 6. Not So Fast. The queue moves rapidly past a female customs officer. The old couple in front of me are waved through, but I'm stopped. I present my passport and lift my cases ready to be searched. Purpose of visit. I've come to see my daughter, I blurt out, and then wonder why I've said it. She live here? You planning to live here? This could still go all wrong. I'm joining a cruise ship. She's a dancer there. I'm being precise, trying not to engage further interest. Nice, father. You have nice day with your daughter. She waves me through. What an ordeal. Feeling free, I check my watch to assess the time lost from my plane to get to the rainforest. You can release the soldier from the service, but not the military precision from the man. I accelerate out of the terminal, into a wall of heat, and see a man holding up a sign with 3 names on it. Mine, Kieron Phillips, is at the top, plus Ron Cohen and George Harding. Damn, I must wait for 2 others. I'm Phillips. Captain Phillips! He laughs in a way that shows he's been saving this joke for ages, but it goes over my head. Tom Hanks! He adds, as if I should now applaud. You, Tom Hanks! Captain Phillips! I have no idea what he's on about. I scan the area where there are few taxi drivers left hustling for trade. My mystery military wingwoman from the plane strides in from the flank. She taps her name on the card. That's me, Miss Ronnie Cohen. She smiles and turns to me. Ron is a woman. So you're not a gay dad, and there's no wife or partner. Nice swerve. I thought she had you. You either lip read or you have very sharp ears. Had she not been arrested, I could have enlightened her with the rest of my boring story, but I guess she wasn't interested in me. I adopted. My daughter, Aulii, is a dancer on the cruise ship. You missed that bit. I told that to the customs officer. If they get together later, they'll have the full story. I offer my hand and we shake. Ronnie, Navy, marine biologist, she offers, knowing I'll return similar information. Kieron Phillips, Royal Tank Regiment. Cavalry, she grins. It's not really a question. She's showing she knows my regiment. Historically, tanks descend from the horsebank cavalry regiments, and she'll have assessed that I'm too tall to have ever been inside a tank. She probably thinks I'm from the household cavalry. I match her grin, and we both turn back and look towards the terminal, waiting for the last person. I'm thinking Ronnie's no biologist, and I'm hoping she's not thinking I'm just a ceremonial guard. Do you get the feeling, I start, that she's not going to make it? Ronnie picks up. Our girl will. Your Latin lover? No. What does she mean by our girl? The taxi drivers have all drifted away from the front of the airport, indicating that all the passengers are through and the day's industry has finished. I sense our driver's impatience. Do you normally do the commentary through the Panama Canal? I ask Ronnie. No, why? Sounds like your field, Navy, and I'm hoping that I don't have to do it. I'm the eco officer on board. I deal with compliance at sea. I do rules and regulations. I don't do shows, she says, smiling. Me neither. I was due to do the Memorial Day service last week, but someone seems to think I might have a few interesting stories, I say, staring at the airport, which is now like a ghost town. Best ones are always the ones you can't talk about. Or don't want to, I add. Why do it if you don't want to? You must be on a handsome pension. They stripped me of that. This could be a new career. You'll do fine. The canal was built by an army of men with big trucks. You've got that down. The rest is on the internet, Tank Commander. We go, our driver suggests, turning impatiently. We both stand firm. It must be a military thing. not wishing to leave a man behind, when if just given a few minutes more, they might make it. "Ship doesn't sail for hours," Ronnie says. The driver relents with a grunt and stands dwarfed between us. A small local man carrying a pegboard of local lottery tickets approaches. I've no idea why he thinks a tourist would buy a ticket he can't collect on. He looks like he needs the money, and I hand him $5. But as much as I would like to win a fortune, I don't take a ticket. I'm about to get on a cruise ship and get paid for it. I've never been lucky with money, but my life's not that bad. Our driver shoos the old man away, and we focus on a woman rushing from the building. She pulls a case on wheels and has a large bag trapped under her other arm, like a rugby ball. She powers beyond us, not wanting to stop. "That's me," she says, nodding at the driver's sign. "Thanks for waiting. Let's keep it moving. The shortest distance between toilets, please." Walking fast, she turns to me. "Kieron, right?" I nod. "You don't look 6'3", though I'll give you the dark, slim, handsome, and charismatic bit in your biography." My agent must have written that. "In the agent box, it said direct, so I'm guessing you wrote it," she replies, striding even faster. I watch her strange, long double bag on wheels in an ill-fitting cover wobble behind her, held only by her squeezing the two handles together. What can be the hurry after being so late? She pushes her carried bag into the arms of the taxi driver. A diva on a mission. She must be an entertainer. "Thanks for waiting, Ronnie." "Always welcome, Georgie." Of course, these two know each other. They're fellow crew. The driver lifts the tailgate and dips down for her bag, but she gets there first. The ill-fitting cover is hiding a hard red case on top of a cheaper one. A red case like the one I'd lifted from the overhead locker for the Latina woman, who was arrested. The cover is a disguise. I don't double-take, show surprise, or even skip a breath. Neither does Ronnie, though she may not have noticed if she's a marine biologist. Georgie turns for my case. She's in a hurry, and the driver is confused. I'm not well. Uncontrollable bowels. Bowels? The shits. For the sake of your vehicle, I suggest the fastest route. I'm curious as to whether dread, fear, and panic are the causes of her medical issue. Chapter 7. Uniforms. "Did you bring your uniform?" I'm asked by Georgie. Clutching her hand luggage tight to her chest, she leans forward to the driver powering through the traffic and shakes his shoulder. "You'll never be a racing driver." I did. "Did what?" she asks. "Bring my uniform." "You'll do fine then, even though I bet you know nothing about the canal. Right?" She laughs. "I didn't say that," I correct her, "but it does seem ridiculous that I'll be posturing as an expert to a few thousand guests after having done a little homework on the web." "We never sent the British Army to Panama," she mocks. "No, but Britain was part of the plan in 1843, though it never carried it through. Had it been, you'd have been on it," she cuts in, with enough punch and intrigue to have a drummer rap out a two-hit sting. I need to learn from her. "No, but it might have been called the Atlantic and Pacific Canal. They may have even tried to fit British in the title." "Just testing. I don't need to hear the whole act," she says. "None of the Panama lecturers were ever at the build. They all studied it. Don't worry." "But I am an expert on tracked vehicles, big diggers, building bridges, people, movement, and operations. Maybe I'll be different." "I can see you're different," she smiles. In the back seat, it's easy for me to look behind. The bag, hidden under Georgie's cover, looks like the Latina's missing fourth bag. If heavy, this one's full of money too, and someone may well have died for it. So what's Georgie up to? Ronnie notices me eyeing the luggage. She's far too streetwise for a biologist. She's not just worked in the field, She's worked in someone else's field. I suspect, like me, she's done duties she will never speak of, so that'll be a conversation we won't have. Is she wondering if Georgie is smuggling money or drugs? Or is she in on it? That could be a serious haul of cocaine, the size of which sees you locked up for life anywhere. Are cruise ships part of the drug route around the world? I'm now assessing my awkward position very differently. I'm your manager and your daughter's boss, Georgie says. Does she know I've noticed the bag? I have 2 uniforms. I'll look the part. I hold her guilty gaze. Save them for your stage lecture. They won't see you do the Panama commentary. They'll be looking at the canal. You'll be on a microphone on the bridge, and I suggest you don't try and out-uniform the captain. Well, I am Captain Phillips, I say, repeating what was supposed to be a joke. That's not funny, she says. And I agree. No idea why. We approach the port gates with armed guards. More customs, I ask Ronnie, thinking of the routine. Off the plane, into the country, out of the country, onto the ship. Ronnie looks from the security to Georgie, who appears fearful. The guards stop our minibus. One is at the front. Another, with a mirror on a pole, looks underneath. A third guard opens the back door, looks at our cases, then straight at me. He takes a probe with a cloth on the end and rubs the cases. One, then the other. The swab goes into a detector, which is triggered, and we wait for the lights to settle. It looks like I won't be going to the rainforest. Chapter 8. In Plain Sight. Navy ships had often carried my old units, the trucks, the tanks, and sometimes the horses. I thought they were large, but beyond the line of palms along the edge of the dock are 2 colossal cruise ships. They are docked next to each other, one each side of a long concrete pier that extends out to sea. A small brass band plays as guests, many older and less able, mingle in the sun. They are not drug mules. Does that mean the crew work the sinister smuggling routes? That is some ship. The MS Lady Diana. I'm excited to see everything inside that has been explained to me with such enthusiasm by my daughter. It makes me so proud that she's happy. I know I can't see her until the evening, so perhaps I could still make the rainforest after all. Aulii enthused about the charms of Caribbean rum, reggae buses, and how I'd love them. Knowing I must reintegrate with civilian life, she dissuaded me from hiking alone or hiring a private guide. She said the reggae bus took in some small towns on the way to Banana River, and the guide who takes you into the rainforest points out the poison dart frogs and other jungle creatures. She laughed when she mentioned that all the tours add in a banana plantation, like she has seen too many now. I've never seen bananas growing. However, that bus looks like it's leaving, and it's already noisier than I would like to be. It goes to show how little we know of each other and how precious this working holiday is. Our driver opens the rear door and reaches in for the first bag, but Georgie beats him to it. The driver lifts Ronnie's bag instead, then mine. With a rushed adios, he leaves. We walk down the long pier between the ships to the gangway and are acknowledged by a junior officer inspecting cruise cards of guests. He radios inside, asking for our cruise cards to be brought down. Then he continues reboarding passengers who already have the magic plastic. Another hold-up, but I hear another reggae bus draw into the end of the pier. I'm warm into the idea. I just need that cruise card and to dump my bags and hang my suits. I can unpack the rest and inspect the ship later. However, up the gangway, security looks thorough and has an X-ray belt for bags and an arch to walk through. Port security might have been easy, but this looks a challenge. Nice suitcase, Georgie, Ronnie says, cutting the air. Very nice, I add. I'm sure I've seen that style before, Ronnie whispers, testing her. I realise Ronnie's not involved in Georgie's plan. Not until now, but that sounded like an offer. She didn't see the dead body on the plane, or she might not want to get involved. Someone else had those bags searched at the airport. The army may never have sent me to Panama, but they did train me to notice things, I offer. Do you mind if I just rush on first when the cards come? Ronnie looks up the ramp as she talks to Georgie. I noticed you behind me approaching the queue, and when you saw me being searched, you turned around and went back. Georgie stops her. I panicked. I found this bag, and I was trying to find the owner, but then figured it was full of drugs, so I ran to the toilet to dump it. I smile, knowing my canal lecture is no longer in danger of her criticism. Ronnie must have seen Georgie had the bag, and knew she'd eventually make it out of the terminal, which is why she stopped the taxi from leaving. Money? Ronnie asks. Georgie nods. I would have been happy if it was full of her shoes. She looks my size. Such a disappointment, I add sarcastically. Maybe you could buy all the shoes you want, if only, Ronnie adds. I put some in here, she gestures, with the hand luggage she holds so tightly. Before you gave the case back to its owner, I ask. The report from my new boss is improving by the minute. No, after I tried to give it back and she was arrested, I thought I'd just dump her case, she admits. How are you going to get any of this past the X-ray machine and onto the ship? Ronnie asks. Georgie's previous bravado has vanished. She seems sure the bag won't make it past the ship's security. Three-way split, Ronnie says. None of us ever talks about it. I'm stunned. I'm about to go on a reggae bus. There's no three-way anything. I want no part of what probably killed the man on the airline. Although the money would be a convenient answer to losing my army pension by my perceived poor conduct in Syria. Both of you follow me with bags, she barks. Ronnie drops her bag on the floor next to a water cart at the bottom of the gangway and marches to an area of the ship's hull that two men are painting. Georgie instantly moves off, clutching her hand luggage and towing her own case with the stolen red case on top in the cover. There is no way. Ronnie is just a marine biologist. I leave my bag by the gangway and follow. But I've agreed to nothing.